that reminds you how big a rivalry this is.
You would know.
I do.
Back the other way comes Marchand, cuts in touch, scores! David Pastrnak!
Welcome to another episode of The Breakdown. Today we're going to look at David Pastrnak's 39th goal of the year before he scored his 40th goal of the year, before he scored his 41st goal of the year. But really it was the 39th one, the first of the game, that was so special. A pass from Brad Marchand, which is really what we're going to focus on here. Because it's really, really good. So I'm going to set up how it all unfolds. Come with me on the walkthrough, and we'll get to the really fantastic end of the play momentarily. So let's take her from the top here. All right, first thing we're looking at is a bit of a neutral zone swirl. Brad Marchand has just picked up the puck in the neutral zone, and he's going to bring it back in sort of a regroup. He's waiting for his teammates, and so he passes the puck back to Torrey Krug. But he puts Krug in a bit of a tough situation. Obviously, Jonathan Drouin is right on top of him, and he's not really able to do much with the puck. So the puck gets turned over by Drouin, and as you can see, Brad Marchand is swinging behind the play, doing crossovers. That's where you really pick up a lot of sneaky speed, is those crossovers, and it's part of what enables him to have so much speed up on this goal. As you can see, the way the play unfolds is kind of fortuitous for Boston. Like, it's just by pure chance, I think. But as you can see, he's hidden behind Artturi Lehkonen there, which means that Jonathan Drouin, who has the puck right now, is looking at something that is a little bit of a lie. You know, he sees all this open ice, he sees a teammate, and it looks like a pretty open scenario to him. But as we know, Marchand is coming up from beneath that pile with speed. And as you can see, here's another look at it. Marchand is just about to emerge from the traffic. He's about to pop by Lehkonen, and Drouin thinks he's got a lane there. Here's the thing. Even if Marchand isn't there, that's not a good pass from Jonathan Drouin. And I get the sense, just in watching this, that Drouin doesn't like his decision either. Like, he's got it, and if he's going to make a pass through the neutral zone, even back through the neutral zone, he needs to make it hard, and he needs to make it quick. And there's a hesitation to it that kind of makes things a little bit easier on Brad Marchand, who, as we know, is coming up from beneath the pile. And there you see, that's kind of the start of the undoing for the Montreal Canadiens. The second part of this is, where's Jeff Petrie in all this? And Jeff Petrie is the D-man that Brad Marchand ends up coming in on. And so what had happened was Marchand picked the puck up at the red line, and Petrie had gapped up on him to make it really difficult on him. And once Marchand curls back, Petrie's like, all right, I'm going to swirl back into the play, into sort of inside the dots where you would want your defenseman to stand. But what happens with that is he ends up getting himself way deep in the neutral zone. You can see there's a full zone gap between Marchand and between him right now. And that ends up being it makes the difference between a foot or two of gap control that ends up biting Petrie. And again, that's mostly just bad luck. Maybe you could say that Petrie should have threw on the brakes and come back through the middle of the dots, but for the most part, I think I'm pretty comfortable saying he was fine in the way he's played this, but it unfolds in an unfortunate way for him. And now it's like, he's essentially a deer in the headlights. Like, a guy's got a full head of steam in the hockey puck. He's in some trouble here. So Marchand comes screaming down at him, and the great part is seeing Pastrnak fill in behind him. Marchand has picked up the puck, and Pastrnak has to, instead of sharing this lane with him, he's got to fan out a little bit and find his own ice. It looks like initially he's thinking that Marchand is going to be skating into what's essentially a one-on-two, and that he might be able to stay above the pile and be a high guy for a drop. We know how that plays out, which is just him reading the play. Right here, essentially, the reason he wouldn't just drive the lane is because he would put himself into traffic here with Kulak, so he's kind of sagging back a little bit, but as the play unfolds and he sees Kulak diving in, he realizes he's got an option to sort of jump behind him. Kulak looking at the puck, and the ice opens up on the other side, and Marchand is wearing 3 Montreal Canadiens like a dinner jacket right now, which essentially means that Pastrnak is free to use this open half of the rink, like literally the half of the rink. And it's amazing how quickly that unfolds, where you go from kind of good coverage to it all falling apart. And that's what happens when a guy beats a guy one-on-one in the NHL, which is so rare. Brad Marchand making that play makes it all happen, but Pastrnak makes a great read to get on the back door. And I mean, come on. Price has no chance. Once that pass is made, they're just a tangled mess over there. But Marchand makes an unbelievable play. The fact that he doesn't even go down after this, it's unbelievable how that all shook out. So, what happens here with the breakdown with Petrie and Marchand is fascinating, because Marchand is essentially showing that he's going to beat him wide, but because of the gap issue earlier, Petrie is skating forwards with him. And it's great to have a defenseman skating with a forward defensively, but because the gap is bad, he's given up room above him a little bit, which allows Marchand, by the way, look at that edge work. He's got his right heel on the ice right now, so he can change direction and pull the puck away from the reach of Petrie's stick. You can see how close Petrie is to getting his stick on this puck. But Marchand pulls it back into his own feet, and just above that, because the gap was off by just that little bit, he's afforded a little bit of room above him. He's got a touch of it on the inside of his skate right now, so he's had to pull it back so far. It's in his feet, but he's just so good and has such good presence of mind. Right now, he'd be aware of where Pastrnak is and the closing circle on him. And that touch means he's got to get the puck from his feet up and out, and he wants to cross back over. So how about that play? That touch there to bring it back. Come on. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's what makes this all happen. And then to curl his stick over, kind of reminds me of Ovechkin falling on his back against Arizona early in his career, the way the stick is curled away from his body angle to make the pass across to Pastrnak, and that is absolutely ridiculous. The other thing to keep an eye on, obviously, is Jonathan Drouin, who, you can see him back checking right now. Where are his eyes? Puck, 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 puck. Like, he was a guy who was on Pastrnak, essentially, who could have just skated back with David Pastrnak and covered him in case Kulak needed to come over and help. But on top of the bad pass, you can see the eyes of everyone staring at the hockey puck. But because of the bad pass, he's in a bad spot, then it's a bad back check. It's just not a great defensive shift from Jonathan Drouin. And here's the look at it in the big picture. Full speed, full dangles, full dish. Not too shabby. 3 Montreal Canadiens and Carey Price, all beat by Brad Marchand, and then you get to see Pastrnak here. I love it. Look at him, he looks at him and goes, oh, that was kind of not bad. Not bad. That's a full meme right there. Just a fantastic goal by the Bruins, and one of those ones that very few players in the league can make happen. We know that those guys are in that select few that can make it happen. So hope you enjoyed another breakdown. If you did, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, or you can follow me on Twitter at JT Bourne. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.